How Voyager's Kes could make a Star Trek comeback. Even without Jennifer Lien, Star Trek Voyager's Kes could make a comeback, even if Jennifer Lien doesn't return to reprise the role. As an Ocampa with a projected lifespan of only 9 years, Kes' days were necessarily numbered. Kes was 2 years old when she and Neelix, Ethan Phillips, joined the USS Voyager crew in 2371, so even if Kes had made it through Voyager's 7-year journey, she'd be near the end of her life for Voyager's 2378 arrival in the Alpha Quadrant. New Star Trek shows post-Voyager take place in the 2380s or later, so Kes shouldn't be alive, right? In Star Trek Voyager Season 2, Episode 10, Cold Fire, Kes meets Ocampa colonists who have harnessed their natural telepathic gifts, which allows them to extend their lives to 14 years or longer. After Kes begins training with Lieutenant Tuvok, Tim Russ, Kes' Ocampa powers grow at a surprising rate. Star Trek Voyager Season 3, Episode 21, Before and After, shows an alternate timeline where Kes has lived to be at least 10. Kes' last normal Star Trek Voyager episode, Season 4, The Gift, saw Kes' telepathic powers overload as Kes became a being of pure energy. Star Trek Voyager's Kes could still make a Star Trek comeback, despite the normal 9-year Ocampan lifespan. As an energy being, Kes wouldn't be limited by short-lived Ocampa physiology and could return in a new form. Kes' essence could be contained in an artificial golem body like in Star Trek Picard, or a separate vessel like Star Trek Prodigy's Medusan Zero. Kes could be given a holographic body, which would be a poetic twist on Kes and the Doctor's Robert Picardo friendship, since Kes was the first one to consider the Doctor a person. Opportunities to revisit Star Trek's 24th century are dwindling, but they're not entirely gone. If a third season of Star Trek Prodigy happens, it would see the former USS Protostar crew revisiting the Delta Quadrant where they could meet Kes. Since Star Trek Prodigy is Voyager's spiritual sequel, seeing Kes return in Prodigy would be a pretty good bet. In a live-action show, Kes could join Robert Picardo as Voyager's Doctor in Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Star Trek's 29th century is rife with the kind of technology that could reincarnate Kes somehow, from advanced holography to the aforementioned golems. Without Jennifer Lien, Kes would have to be recast to return to any new Star Trek stories. In a live-action show, a new body for an otherwise non-corporeal Kes could explain why Kes would be played by a different actor. While characters returning to Star Trek via animation are often played by their original actors, a talented voice actor could mimic Lien's mannerisms as Kes. Since Lien's likeness could also be approximated with relative ease, an animated show like Star Trek Prodigy's potential third season would be the best way to bring Star Trek Voyager's Kes back to Star Trek. Kes, the Ocampa character from Star Trek Voyager, was a unique and compelling figure whose storylines delved into themes of accelerated evolution, limited lifespan, and the search for identity. Played by Jennifer Lien, Kes left the series in Season 4 under circumstances that left the door open for her possible return. Even though Lien has since distanced herself from acting, the character of Kes could still make a dramatic and meaningful return to Star Trek through creative storytelling, recasting, and innovative approaches that honor the character's legacy. 1. Kes' unique powers, a narrative gateway. Kes was an Ocampan, a race of beings with extremely short lifespans, around 9 years, and latent psychic abilities. Throughout her time on Voyager, Kes gradually developed formidable mental powers, including telepathy, psychokinesis, and even time manipulation. These abilities, combined with her species' biological uniqueness, present the perfect setup for a character who can transcend her original storyline. When Kes left the show in the episode The Gift, she had reached an advanced level of mental evolution, enabling her to traverse space in a non-corporeal form. This transformation into a higher dimensional being offers an easy entry point for her to reappear in the Star Trek universe. Kes' story can pick up from this ethereal existence, exploring themes of cosmic awareness, the consequences of immense power, or even the nature of time and mortality. For instance, Kes could make a return in a future Star Trek series or film as a guiding presence. Given her evolved state, she could appear to help a new generation of Starfleet officers facing existential threats or dilemmas. This version of Kes wouldn't need to be the exact character we once knew. Her advanced consciousness could have evolved her personality, providing depth to how she perceives the universe and her purpose within it too. Recasting Kes for a new era, the possibility of bringing Kes back also opens up the option of recasting the role with a new actor, especially since Jennifer Lien is unlikely to reprise her role. Star Trek has successfully recast iconic characters before, e.g. Spock, Kirk, and Kes is no exception. If done with respect to the original portrayal, a new actor could carry the torch for Kes and continue her journey. A key element of Kes recasting would be capturing the innocence, curiosity, and latent power that defined her character. With modern television productions' advancements in special effects and writing, this new Kes could show more visual representations of her psychic abilities and interactions with spacetime. The character could even be shown in multiple forms or ages, reflecting her non-linear existence beyond normal time constraints. This would allow the writers to explore the idea that Kes, in her evolved state, can take on any form or identity to suit her needs at the moment. In addition, a new actor could bring new dimensions to the role, adding emotional layers that weren't fully explored during the character's initial run. Kes could wrestle with her own evolution, contemplating whether she still identifies with her Ocampan heritage or has transcended it completely. She might feel torn between her evolved self and the young woman who once lived aboard Voyager. 3. A new Kes, a new storyline. A modern return of Kes could also tap into some of the broader themes that Star Trek shows and films have increasingly focused on, such as personal identity, the nature of consciousness, and the consequences of tampering with time. Perhaps Kes could serve as an emissary of some larger cosmic force, returning to guide Starfleet officers in preventing an impending crisis. In a similar vein to Star Trek Discovery's exploration of higher dimensional beings, Kes could be portrayed as an entity who has lived through millennia, observing multiple universes, timelines, and civilizations. This version of Kes could carry the weight of vast knowledge and responsibility, yet struggle with loneliness and her loss of connection to her past self and others. She might seek to reconnect with the Voyager crew, even if they no longer remember or recognize her, or try to assist Starfleet as a bridge between corporeal beings and higher dimensional entities. The evolution of Kes could even tie into current Star Trek storylines. In shows like Star Trek, Picard, and Star Trek Discovery, there is a growing interest in exploring how time, space, and consciousness intersect. Kes could reappear in an arc that explores how these advanced forces influence the universe, perhaps revealing a threat only she is equipped to understand. For example, she could appear as a mentor figure to a character like Michael Burnham, guiding them through a crisis of galactic proportions with her unique insight into time and evolution. 4. Kes and legacy characters. Another compelling angle for a Kes comeback would involve interactions with legacy characters, particularly those from Voyager. Star Trek, Picard has already brought back several classic characters, and with Voyager's 25th anniversary still fresh in fans' minds, bringing Kes into a storyline involving Janeway, 7 of 9, or other Voyager crew members would be a logical step. Perhaps Kes could cross paths with Janeway, whose leadership shaped Kes' formative years aboard Voyager. The dynamic between an evolved Kes and a now more mature, battle-hardened Janeway could offer intriguing emotional and philosophical exchanges, as Janeway contemplates the choices she made in Kes' life. Would Kes still feel gratitude toward Janeway, or has her cosmic evolution led her to question the decisions that sent her down this path? Similarly, Kes could meet 7 of 9, another character whose evolution from Borg drone to human was central to